Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding. Today, we are going to be going over the 5 common mistakes to avoid in chess. And these are mistakes that beginners make all the time. And I'm trying to have all the beginners stop doing this. Because if you stop doing this, the world is going to be a better place. So let's continue. Let me put up this board right quick. Here we go. Let me move slightly to the right. All right. So first of all, the first one that we're going to be talking about is underdevelopment. And I got an example too of what we should not be doing in chess. And we're going to be the white pieces. And then I want you to tell me what black is doing wrong here. Underdevelopment is horrible. If you still have all of your pieces on the first rank and 12 moves has passed, you're doing terrible. That's not the best way how to play chess. If you're not going to use all of your pieces in chess, why even play it? Because chess is a team sport. Everybody wants to be in the battle to protect the king. They have the same goal. This is 1800s. Let's get started. So in this position, let's say that we took that pawn and then they take that back with queen takes on d5, right? And then we're going to do the move knight to c3. Now, this is the actual opening called the Scandinavia defense for all those players that's like, well, your queen shouldn't be out so early. Like, generally here, the queen goes to a5, d8, etc. But we're talking about beginners today. This is what I do not want to see after queen takes on d5. It is queen to e5. Checking the king. Check doesn't always lead to checkmate. Check does not even lead to a good position all the time. And so let's say that black keeps on doing stupid moves and wanting to threaten things with their queen instead of developing all these pieces in the back, right? All these pieces should be developed, but they're only moving their queen. They already moved their queen 3 times while we're developing pieces. Underdevelopment is so bad that it could be worse than losing pieces. And even though we are losing this g-pawn, rook g1, we're attacking the queen, we're getting the initiative, we're gaining all these tempos on our opponent's queen, that we are in a winning position already. This is winning. You should know how to win this. Even though they're up a pawn, their queen is on the side, none of these pieces are developed. And how many pieces do we have developed? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this bishop is basically developed. So 5, because it's... And if you look very closely, I just want to skip to this. If you look very closely, the queen squares are almost non-existent. Like the queen safe squares is almost non-existent. So now black is going to have to be careful for trapping their queen. This is what we do not want to do in chess, all right? Keep that in mind. Underdevelopment is bad. Activity is always good. Develop your pieces, castle your king, put your rooks on open files, and make sure that you are intentional with where you are putting your pieces. All right, next thing. Let's continue. Neglecting the king. And this is a position that I came across, and this is a real game. This came from a real game, and we are going to be on the black side. So in this position, white played the move. Queen takes on f5, e takes on f5, knight takes on e5. Not knight takes, but knight e5. But if you look at this king is being attacked right now. I know black's king is being attacked, but there is no checks that are really good for the white pieces. White, on the other hand, their king is a little bit slightly to the left where they generally want to be, which initiated a tactic that black could do, which was rook to h1, check, bishop takes, rook takes, check, and now black has a skewer. The king has to move, black captures, and yes, this is what happens when you neglect the king. White should have, on the other hand, thought about how to like progress with the position and protect the king at the same time. Even doing a move like king f2 would have been great. A move like king f2 would have went a long way. Or just putting the king back. Knight to e5 is a horrible move. Always think about your king's safety, because if you don't, that could cost you the game to all you beginners. And that's why we should castle our king as soon as possible too. Because when you're a beginner, you don't really know how to defend very accurately, right? Because you have to look at all the situations that could happen in your position. You have to look at all the ways that your opponent could attack you, and it could be several different ways. But you have to make sure that all those different ways are not losing for you. And that's what defense is. And that's why nobody wants to be on the defending side, but they want to be the attacker. They want to be the aggressor. So, yeah, do not neglect the king, because if you do, you're going to lose. And for all you beginners out there, I know that's easier said than done, but do the best you can so that you can not be part of the people that is part of this common mistake. Once you learn this, you will have greater games and you will actually get to the end of the game instead of losing in under 12 moves. Let's get to the next common mistake, which is overlooking tactics. In this game, this is what happened. We got the move Queen A5. After Queen A5, the player with the white pieces decided to play Queen D2. Bishop B4, pinning the queen to the king. King moves. Bishop takes queen on D2. And yeah, white is losing because they overlooked a tactic. They didn't think about all the moves that they should be doing here. For example, Queen D2 is not the best move. King E2 was better. King F1 was better. Even Knight D2 was better. And I'm not saying black wasn't already winning in this position. All I'm saying is this game could have progressed a little bit longer. White could have had a fighting chance if they didn't miss the move Bishop B4, pinning the queen to the king on E1. We need to avoid this. This is what we do not want to do as a chess player. We have to stop these mistakes, and the only way to stop this mistake is by doing a whole bunch of chess puzzles. And you don't even have to know the advanced tactics, but gaining the knowledge to know what are pins, forks, skewers, and discovered attacks will help you tremendously, because those tactics are what is displayed on the chessboard most of the games that you're going to be playing. So study the forks, pins, skewers, and discovered attacks. You can do this on chess.com or elitechess.org. Those are the tactics that you will see every single game. And majority of people lose to these tactics. So don't be that beginner that loses to the tactics. It's going to be annoying if you keep on losing to these type of tactics. And these type of tactics, if you keep on losing to, and then you keep on studying, like, why am I not improving? These are the type of moves that like ends your chess career. So let's not do that. Move on to the next one, which is being too passive. So I got this next position here. It is with the white pieces. And white did some very silly moves. They did the move Queen C4, which is not that silly. That's legitimate. That's a cool move, right? But you can tell that their pieces are very aggressive at this moment. So notice these next two moves. Queen C4, which actually Queen C4 wasn't the best move. It was F3. But Queen C4, King F8, and then instead of any other move, we have the move King F1. And they was probably trying to get the king to a safe square, to a safe spot where they're not attacked so easily, because the opponent did have threats, maybe like Bishop G4, but it still runs into the same threat, but Bishop H3. And that is a discovered attack, especially on this piece, Rook D6. After the king moves again, Rook captures, Queen captures, and yeah, this is being too passive in chess. And I'm gonna put being too passive with being too aggressive too. I'm gonna put those together, and I'm gonna give you an example of being too aggressive, just like this example of being too passive. All right, because there are certain positions where you have to find the balance of when to attack and when to not attack. And if you do not know about that balance, then you're missing some concepts of chess that you need to know. And you need to get in those books and start studying middle game strategies. Knowing the pawn structures and the activity that is going on along the board in those positions is very important. And then you already know the evaluation that I always go by. I'm controlling the center, whose king is safer, pawn structure, who has the better pawn structure, who has more material, and then the last one, who has more space. Those are things that you need to keep in mind all the time, so that you know when to be defensive or when to be aggressive. And there are times to be a defensive. There are times to make sure that your opponent do not just demolish you, because you got yourself in a position that was less favorable, and it happens. It is what it is. You cannot avoid that. And so you just have to find that balance between being too passive and too aggressive. All right, this is our position of a player being too aggressive, and the black player was being too aggressive. They did the move queen g5 in this position, trying to trade queens. Maybe they was in a pickle. This knight was attacking the queen, and they didn't go to the right square, even though they should have just went to queen h5 and kept on protecting this pawn on the f7 square. Because what happened was queen moved to g5, queen capture, king moved over, and then bishop captured the g5 queen. All right. The fifth mistake to go over that beginners need to avoid, and let me just get this board out the way because I don't really need it for this one, is start studying your games. Start studying not only your games, but your losses, so that you're not doing the same mistake over and over and over again. Because do you know how depressing that is, just to see the same thing over? And if you're playing for fun, I guess that's fine. If you're just playing friends and family and you're good at the level that you're at, if you're good with losing the same way, fine by me. But if you're trying to get better, improve, and I'm guessing so because that's why you clicked on the video anyway. I don't see somebody that's just trying to have fun clicking on this video, but you know, I digress. You need to study your games, and don't just do it once or twice. You need to do it every single time that you lose a game, so that you are improving at a tremendous rate. And that's what I want for you. I want you to reach your goals, and I want you to do better as a chess player. Get that rating up on chess.com, and you will surely do that by avoiding these mistakes that I already went over. So keep on fighting till the end, staying focused in chess and in real life too.